nature of the human being. And because of the factors involved all the way along, I make a sort of a preamble out of this, setting the foundation as it was more or less laid for us by Paracelsus von Hohenheim. According to Paracelsus, there are two books: the great book of the universe and the little book, which is man. To Paracelsus and many other physicians of that early period, the human body was the most available text for the whole world, for all the things that happen everywhere, anytime. Because somewhere within the microcosm, which is man, all the processes of the macrocosm are unfolded. George Gallup, the man who did the Gallup poll and was a great assembler of information, said that to him it was utterly inconceivable that the amount of information in the human body is available to measure every other mystery of the universe. We have lived with this body to find it mostly creaky and a little uncertain, and do not realize the tremendous scope of wonders that are taught by the body to help us to chart the universe and all of its processes.
I am Hermes, messenger of the gods. As above, so below is a phrase describing the interchangeability of the microcosm and the macrocosm. This simple phrase is a law of the universe, telling us in 4 words that all things are endlessly and inseparably connected. The universe is a cascade of information streams which relate to each other in a succinct yet mutable way. The term as above, so below comes from the text I wrote in a past eon, the Emerald Tablets, which states, "That which is below corresponds to that which is above, and that which is above corresponds to that which is below, to accomplish the miracle of the one thing." This message states that man is the counterpart of the divine on earth, as the divine is man's counterpart in the heavenly realms. Basically, what's happening on earth is happening in the spirit realm, and vice versa.
There are 2 functions in man that we have to consider: thought and memory. The individual is the thinker who remembers. Now this is very ordinary and sounds very simple, but it is the source of infinite confusion. The thinker is an entirely different function of the compound human being from the digester or memorizer. All memorized facts are static. All facts which arise from the direct observation of realities are, we say, active. Now, the development of the memory has to a great degree burdened mankind from the beginning of time. We are depending more and more upon what we remember and less about the original thinking of which we are capable. is an entirely different function of the compound human being from the digester or memorizer. All memorized facts are static. All facts which arise from the direct observation of realities are, we say, active. Now, the development of the memory has to a great degree burdened mankind from the beginning of time. We are depending more and more upon what we remember and less about the original thinking of which we are capable. The thinking is an active process. Whatever is thought may be later recorded and put on paper or on a cylinder or stored away in the memory. Memory is a storehouse, but it is of very little use unless there's something to store in it. And this has been where the weakness has been in our modern thinking. When we go back to the ancients, when the life was comparatively simple, and the carvings on the walls of caves was about all the records we had, the factor of thought was much more dynamic than it is today. Because the natives of that time had no memories to fall back upon. There was no previous history of the world in which he lived. There was no previous account of the adventures of others like himself, because he had no record and no written form to tell him what to do in an emergency. He was gradually forced to a very positive position. He had to think. He had to try to find the answers for himself by himself. He had to try to figure out what to do when the cave bear attacked him. He had to find out what to do when he was stricken with an ailment or suffered from an accident. These things could not be taken out of books. He could not consult a physician. He knew no way to function except through his own personal initiative. He had however, one factor in his favor. He was capable of an intimate and immediate religious reaction. Not knowing what to do and where to find help, he called upon the deities or upon the spirits or upon the mysteries of the air to give him advice.